Yesterday I told you about the actual Seth Rich conspiracy. Rod Wheeler, who is a correspondent for Fox News, said that another Fox News reporter had fabricated quotes from him in order to make it appear that Seth Rich was not killed in a robbery. He was a staffer for the DNC, but that he was killed perhaps by the DNC or Hillary Clinton's people, which is madness, which is insanity, right? And now Wheeler is saying, yes, Ed Butowski, who's a rich Republican donor, is the one who concocted this plan. Fox News executed it. Sean Hannity then talked about it. And the president apparently, if you believe Rod Wheeler's lawsuit, was involved as well, okay? Now, there's restless employees at Fox News having seen all this, and Fox News did retract the story, so they know now that it was absolutely wrong. Now, remember when CNN got a story slightly wrong about Scaramucci, and it's actually an open dispute whether that story was even wrong, but in order to be inordinately careful, they fired 3 people immediately, okay? So has Fox News fired anybody yet, including the person who's charged with fabricating quotes that were in fact not real? I'm waiting for it. Nope, no one fired yet, okay? So now CNN has a story from insiders at Fox News. Fox News employees said, people need to start getting canned over the Seth Rich thing, what a mess. I don't know if you realize where you work. Doing Republican conspiracy and propaganda is not something you get fired for at Fox News, that's something you get promoted for. But there's this like kind of an innocent naivete, even including, and maybe most especially including people inside the Fox News building, because they gotta live with themselves, and there are good folks in there, and I'll explain that in a second, but let me give you more details here. Oliver Darcy writes about this on CNN Money. They don't want to acknowledge that they fucked up, a senior Fox News employee said, explaining that either a top editor didn't see the story before publication, as would be a typical procedure, or a top editor saw the article and approved it. The insider says both situations are really bad. So it's not an oversight. According to Rod Wheeler, an editor did see it and approved it. And I don't know why they treat this as like new news, that Fox News does this generally. There's a whole movie about it called Outfoxed by Brave New Films, and that's from over a decade ago. And there are dozens of examples of memos that people find from Fox News executives and editors telling the reporters how to skew stories. There was a famous one where they said, pretend that Hamas was celebrating Democratic victories after Democrats won the House one year. And then you see Martha McCullum go on air and pretend that Hamas was celebrating the victories when they were doing no such thing. They had no idea what the hell was going on in our elections. They totally fabricated it, and their bosses made them do it at Fox News. So this is not a new event at Fox News. So if you're under any illusion that they're not propaganda for the Republican Party, you should snap out of it. All right, the sources who spoke with CNN said they felt that the significant misstep on the Rich story continues to haunt the network and to put a cloud over their own network. Dude, that cloud was already there, man. Wakey, wakey, just look up. He says, a Fox News on-air personality says, quote, this makes people doubt Fox. I got bad news for you. They were already doubting Fox. Really, that's like news to you that people doubt Fox? You thought you were at a credible news organization that just right down the middle, man. We call it like we see it. Okay, another employee noted that it forces people to question the network's, this is hilarious, journalistic integrity. Yeah, I think it does that. So look, it's not that everybody who works at Fox News is a bad guy or that they're part of this machine. Some are more obviously culpable. If you make up quotes to do this Republican hit piece, you're pretty culpable. If you, like Martha McCullum, just repeat stuff that isn't true because your boss told you, you're pretty culpable. But there are a lot of folks there that are just reporters, and they're like, look, it's a paycheck, and oftentimes a very large paycheck. They send me somewhere, I go report on it, and I'm done with it. And it is super hard in the media to find an outlet that isn't compromised in one way or another. Look, the CNNs and the MSNBCs are part of giant multi-billion-dollar corporations that also have interests in front of the US government, whether it's mergers or net neutrality. Are they influenced by their parent corporation's economic interests? Of course, that's how corporations work. Fox News is greatly influenced by the guy who started it, Roger Ailes, and the guy who owns it, Rupert Murdoch, deeply conservative, deeply Republican. They want to push in that direction. And we have the internal memos to prove it. We have the external stories to prove it. Yes, Al Jazeera, owned by Qatar, Russia Today, owned by RT. It doesn't mean that every person at CNN, Fox News, Al Jazeera, and RT are bad journalists. But you should know the context of these. And almost everyone, apparently outside the people, some people working at Fox News, know that Fox News is a conservative place. They're not playing it right down the middle, which is fine. By the way, they got rid of their fair and balanced logo and slogan. So now at least you raise your hand and say we do conservative perspective, and that's okay. But to pretend otherwise and to talk about your journalistic integrity, it's a little amusing. Now, when asked to explain why they have not responded at all to the Seth Rich story, why they haven't fired anyone, they were asked to explain this, and here's what Fox News said.
Tide goes in, tide goes out, never a miscommunication. You can't explain that.
Apparently there is no explanation. Young Turks now has over 6 billion lifetime views. You know who did that? You did that. We're now larger than CNN, ABC, you name a news network online, we're larger than them. And you built all that as everyone scoffed and didn't believe. And here we are, guys, thanks to you. Build independent media together with us at tytnetwork.com/join.